Here's the deal, man. I got to say thank you to Jess because for my hurricane season, June 2020 THORnews fundraiser, I got my first contribution from the super duper awesome Jess. I'm sorry for every time I ever said anything that upset you. You know I love you. You are great. And Asteroid Fight Club is great. And so I can obsess about stuff. And so I've been obsessing about this, what we are calling for now, the June 7th hurricane. And am I saying it's going to be a hurricane for sure? No. Am I saying it's even going to be a storm that comes up and hits the Gulf Coast or Florida in the face? No. But if the GFS continues to draw it up again and again and again and again and again. And so, like, as of right now, that would give us about 11 or 12 days warning on a giant freaking storm. One of the biggest storms I've ever seen. So we are now watching the 18Z in real time as it prints out the frames. That's how it does it. Like, it slowly prints out the little frames over here. We are now on hour 222. And so, because I'm in a mood, I'm obsessively covering stuff. And sure, yeah, the unofficial part of my fundraiser has started. So if you'd like to contribute or donate, I will be working my two-ski off all hurricane season to bring you guys the best information. And so what I'm asking now is, like, let's say this storm verifies, and it is a giant storm. Like, it is the size of the Gulf of Mexico, right? And so how many days warning for the general populace? I'm not talking about super rich people. They're always keep themselves safe and have good information. I'm talking about, like anybody under $1 million or anybody who's working hard or has a bunch of stuff and just doesn't have time to pay attention. So it's like, if you got a big storm coming your way, how many days do people really need to prepare for what might be coming? And the latest GFS shows Invest 91, which the National Hurricane Center has now upgraded to a 30% chance of development. This GFS run has it as a tropical depression or tropical storm, I forget. Right there, bang. Do you see that? So we're monitoring three things. One, Invest 91. Two, this giant storm that I'm obsessed with. And then the Euro implied that Maine is going to get hit with a hurricane on the 8th of June. Ooh, see, now this is pulling it towards Texas. So, I mean, it is just lit. And as 2020 has been maxed out extra on like everything, why would we think that hurricane season isn't going to be the same? Right? And so, and also I got to remind people, YouTube is like buyer beware. It's technically your responsibility for which videos you click on, so if this is not the content you wanted or liked, then that's really your responsibility. But I get it. Nobody likes personal responsibility anymore. If something goes wrong, you can blame it all on Obama, or you can blame it all on Trump, or you can blame it all on Bill Gates or George Soros. I don't even know. Yeah, so that 995 would make it right around hurricane strength. Whether it be subtropical, tropical, depression, whatever you want to call it, man. So yeah, it is definitely, and look, it almost looks like a giant spaghetti monster. But this has it floating towards Texas. And so Dada Boo, the Florida Wave Master, always points out that, like, sometimes a giant storm will have a low in its tail, and this would be that low in that tail. But look at this thing. And it's a slow mover. So you know what? I hope the rocket launch tomorrow goes great. Oh, by the way, tomorrow, about an hour and a half ahead of time, I'm going to be drinking beer. And if the fundraiser goes well enough today, I'll be drinking whiskey too. And so we can watch the rocket launch together live. It's at like 3:30, I think, Texas time. Anyway, so I want the rocket launch to go well, though I think if it doesn't go well, having the whole space program on Elon Musk's shoulders, that means that we're not going to have human space exploration for another decade. Anyhow, and so I do not want to have a really nasty hurricane season. You know, the plague season has been horrible. I don't give a crap what your political belief is. It has been very bad. We've lost a lot of Earthlings as Planetary Defense Commander. And so I do not want a horrible hurricane season. But it's looking like this hurricane season will not be as fun as last year's hurricane season for the lower 48s of the United States. And so we have a giant, and I've been, one of the main reasons I've been watching this storm since it started showing up in the models is because it's just massive. This storm is the whole size of the Gulf of Mexico, and it passes over the notch in Central America and then just kind of reforms. So it like hits land and then is like, you will not stop me. And this is not even my final form. And I still have PTSD from when Harvey sat over Houston, Texas for a couple of days, and it just sat there rotating, dropping rain on everything. And so, you know, it's going to be, I want to think that atmospheric defense and Space Force and All-Star Asteroid Fight Club and Prayer Warriors can do a lot to help things. But we're going to have to step up our game, man. Because like I said, we're literally tracking 3 different systems now. We aren't even into June. We're watching this in the Gulf. That one that goes up into, that has it going into North Carolina is like a tropical depression. And then the weird one that the Euro showed. Let me pop over to that to buy myself some time here as it craps out frames. This is the King Euro model putting a hurricane in Maine in 8 days. 7.5 to be technical. This is the GFS putting a tropical depression into North Carolina, South Carolina in about 18 hours. Yeah. As Boo, the Florida Wave Master, points out that the Euro is telling the GFS, hold my beer. 12Z, day 7 and day 8, one run. Now it's just one run, but the fact that we've got 3 different tropical development systems that we are monitoring over the next 12 days should give you quite a clue, because hurricane season lasts a couple months, bro. It lasts till like November. And I get that people want to let their guard down. They want to be like, hey, man, I don't want to wear a mask. Hey, man, I don't want to worry about hurricanes. And I can't worry about people who don't want to play defense, you know? I think we've lost a lot of people this year. We're going to lose a lot more people this year. But I don't want to lose anybody. But if I had to pick the 3, which I'm quote-unquote concerned about the most, it is definitely the CAG. It's weird. From like last hurricane season, I tried to pick exact locations and intensities. I think that's when atmospheric defense came in and helped out, and so we didn't get those. Anyway, but I'm kind of gun shy from that last year. But up at this point, the fact that we're tracking 3 different things, now I'm not as gun shy, and I'm saying, yeah, red alert, pretty much, red alert. Philip Pappin is always yapping about cool stuff involved with weather. In other tropics news, the GFS continues to highlight potential Central American gyre development beginning in the East Pac in 72 hours. So, you know, it's a big storm looking thing. So it doesn't matter if this thing becomes a hurricane, depression, whatever. This thing will definitely bring rain and flooding and winds and more problems to Gulf Coast states, it looks like. Because look, it's giant and it's slow, and then it just kind of sits and wraps. And if it doesn't do anything, that would be great. And we had fun watching this thing for a week or 2. But at this point, I don't know. I'm watching. And you're not, I guess you're watching with me. And I appreciate that. sidebar. And before me, no one ever used to post the GFS Hour 384. I don't want to be like, yeah, dude, I'm the one who started all. Memes weren't even around when I got into weather. Like, I don't know. I injected a heavy amount of Asteroid Fight Club into everything. It's what I do. Though my numbers have been frozen at subscribers at 55,000 for like 3 years. I'm just saying, I do things my way. And yes, it has spawned a lot of people who do not do it as well as I do or as cool and try to just fearmonger 384 charts. But I'm just saying, like, I got a free pass to do whatever I want when it comes to weather graphics, I think, in my opinion. Michael Ventris, weather commandment number 1, thou shalt not post GFS deterministic forecast day 11 plus graphics of fantasy tropical cyclones over the Gulf of Mexico. And, well, that, I do what I do. And if something comes of it, then we got warned. And if something doesn't, then we're lucky. Not a single grandmother ever died from a hour 384 post. Do you feel hurt? And like I said, nothing could come of this. Do you feel hurt? Do you feel I've wasted your time? If so, I apologize. Yeah, like that would be 995 and 990. So it's just a weird storm that I think needs to be watched. Either way, this GFS model run has it headed to Texas. All right, so technically, by their rules, I wouldn't be allowed to post anything after hour. Okay, so they're saying it. You shouldn't post anything after hour 200. So even at hour 198, it is a giant storm the size bigger than the Gulf of Mexico. So now today, I would be allowed to tell people, oh my God, we got a giant storm the size of the Gulf of Mexico coming. It's going to bring a whole lot of rain to some people. And it has consistently drawn the storm up again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Anyway. And that's what I do love about the week, even though I'm 2 days early, day and a half of my fundraisers. During that time, because I don't know, you guys may not rehire me. So I get to go crazy. I get to just do whatever I want, say whatever I want, and it's like my 1 week of freedom every month. And so, during this time, you may be like, you know what, THORnews, you're not the one for me. I do not want to get my information from you anymore. And you should always be taking it with a grain of salt. I usually give you a cranky weather guy's opinion on the subject, Dada Boo's opinion on the subject, Michael Ventris's opinion, pretty much like the rest of the whole weather Twitter community. With people who disagree with me, agree with me, I bring a whole lot of vantage points to you guys. And I really do think I totally changed the weather game when I brought my crazy Star-Lord attitude to weather. I did it because it was like weather's super fascinating, and it was the only place that you could escape from politics. But then politics got into weather back in 2016, man, when the Grand Solar Minimum tried to take over and the whole truth community became super pro-Trump. I'm just not big fans of politicians in general. Yeah, and I don't know. Like I said, I'm just laying it out there, man. They're models. I'm not saying this is a forecast. I'm not saying you got to trust any of it. I'm just saying if we're watching for signs for this hurricane season, I think we're seeing several. All right. You guys are great, and I totally love you. And if you leave me, I hope you find somewhere that treats you right and always brings you good information, and every once in a while makes you laugh. We need more funny YouTubers. And we definitely need more people with senses of humor. That shit is vanished in 2020. All right. You are sexy, and I really am curious what you're wearing. Peace out. God bless everyone. Good da boo. Breaking that 18Z GFS 200-hour rule. And like I said, this is an interesting situation. Selena Gomez, calling Selena Gomez, where are you? last year, right before hurricane season started, like literally the day or night of, we had a celebrity all-star Asteroid Fight Club meeting where the greatest rock and roll was played, and it helped set the tone for hurricane season, which was a great hurricane season for the lower 48. And Selena Gomez definitely won that night. So I'm thinking the all-star Asteroid Fight Club meeting should be a yearly thing, but it should be like the Brooklyn Nine-Nine's Halloween heist, where someone wins every single year. And so who would win in 2020? We'd better find out, because it looks like this is going to be an active hurricane season, and we don't want to lose anybody. And so this is a team, man. This is a giant team. You know, so I will take, an Asteroid Fight Club will take all the help we can get, and sirens and Valkyries and Sonics are powerful. Imagination is powerful. Will is powerful. And people have a lot of triggers. Anyhow, yeah. Man, I'm revved up after being depressed for like a week. I guess I feel better now. Hey, what are you doing? Come with me, and you'll see a world of pure imagination. Take a look. I'll be working hard for the money and to save lives. So hard for it, honey. In conclusion, I love you. I love being Planetary Defense Commander. I could use a good luck kiss. Wait, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. And look at, so this has it making landfall on Texas as a hurricane in about 12 or 13 days. Although the way it spins and just goes slow, it could be longer than that. But this has been an absolutely amazing storm to watch every step of the way. And even if the atmospheric defense team knocks it down to like a category 1 or even a tropical storm, that it still looks like it would have a whole lot of rain with it, although it looks like they reduced the rain in half. And what they traditionally do is, you'll notice they blast it and they separate the rain from the pressure, which doesn't allow it to get to like category 2, category 3, and it reduces the rainfall by incredible amounts. And so it looks like on here, the massive storm, it looks like they're already starting to do it. So 10 days from now, we may have a whole lot of nothing, but I've shown you the steps of how we got there. See how it's all like shattered in half? See that? Anyway, it's interesting, and I'll keep watching. And you can tune in whenever you want to. I love you, Asteroid Fight Club. All right, everybody stay cool. And remember, tomorrow we were going to watch I'll go live and we'll watch the space rocket launch together. Although you're going to have your own TV to watch it on the side, because I won't be able to broadcast it. I will just be talking about it as I have it on my laptop. All right, sound good? I love you, love you, love you, love you. And ladies, I miss you. And please, God, bless everyone and protect us this hurricane season, because Lord knows, we need it.